Welcome to Towson Acupuncture Associates. I am William Zvarick, and this is part 2 in my immune enhancing protocol. So in part 1, we talked about yoga breathing techniques. You might want to look at that video first to really get that down before we add part 2 here, the Chinese qigong techniques. So my contribution to this arena is to combine these two traditions. I'm sure it's been done before, I just haven't seen it discussed this way, so this is something I'd like to just put out there. I'm going to review the yoga breathing, just to break that down, and just to review it again so we can add it on top of the qigong. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to use my hands to cue what's happening on my body, and you can do this too, so you can see what's moving. Basically, we want to fill the entire lung. So we want the diaphragm to come down so the lower lobe of the lung can expand. Then we expand the chest. We raise the shoulders to get the upper lobe, which comes up here all the way up above the collarbone. So when we breathe in, the abdomen expands so the diaphragm can go down. Give yourself a little tummy. Then when you exhale, the abdomen goes in so the diaphragm can go up. So diaphragm down, diaphragm up. Breathe in. Breathe out. You breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's not a dry cough, don't worry. All right, so here we go. So abdomen expands, chest expands, shoulders go up, hold it, hold it, hold it. Now that little hold at the end is it enhances the effect. At first, if you're not used to this, it's kind of hard to do that. As you practice this, you can extend that holding part. So it's all about making those bellows to completely open the lung, and then we get to expand all the alveoli, the little air sacs at the end. So this enhances parasympathetic nervous system function, which is our rest and digest. It is a way of taking down the adrenaline. We all have a lot of adrenaline right now. We don't need any more adrenaline. And because that suppresses immunity, which is what we're trying not to do. So now we're going to add the qigong techniques. So we have this concept of Chinese medicine of the wei qi, which is a layer of qi just under the skin, which corresponds in Western physiology to our innate immune system. Innate immunity is why do some people get sick and some people don't get sick, right? Exposed to the same pathogen, the same viral load. Well, as we get older, our immunity diminishes. If we have certain health conditions, when we do get sick, it can make it worse. But there's a variation there in how people respond. So the wei qi, by strengthening the wei qi, we strengthen that resistance. So if something comes in, it doesn't get us. The coronavirus comes in through the nose, for the most part, we think. It attaches to these ACE2 receptors, they're called, and they're all over the place. They're in our nose, in our throat, in our lungs, they're in our heart. In men, they're in that aspect as well. So we want to prevent this virus, if it does get in, from descending into the lungs. Because if it gets into the lungs, we can get something called acute respiratory distress syndrome, which is very bad. Causes all kinds of problems. So we want to prevent that. So this technique I'm about to show you is for the wei qi, for our defensive qi, our innate immune system. In the Western medical way of looking at it, be natural killer cells, macrophages, that sort of thing. All right, so we want to have a nice parallel stance with our feet. We don't want to be pigeon-toed. You should almost, well, we actually want to feel a little pigeon-toed, really, when you do this. It might feel that way. You want to have a little play in the knees. You don't want to be locked. You don't have to go too deep, but just let some play be there. And the concept is we want to make a ball of qi. What is qi? That's going to be another video, so that's a whole separate topic. Stay tuned. But just for now, if you're unfamiliar with this concept, you can think of it like our body's vital energy. It's what makes us healthy, what makes all the body functions occur. Qi. It's a very broad term, but what it is we want more of it. We want it to be healthy and we want it to move. Qi likes to move. All right, so We start making a ball. Now the outside of the wrist leads out, and then the inside of the wrist leads back in. So then we can create this ball. So the wrist drifts out, the wrist drifts in. Like drifting like through seawater, like we're a sea creature. When you bring the wrist in, leave a little space under the arm here, because otherwise, this is the brontosaurus version, and you can see there's not a lot of chi circulating there, right? So you want to leave that space there. Now what we're going to add, this is the twist here. We want to add the yoga breathing and coordinate it with this movement. So as the hands go out, the abdomen fills, the chest fills, and diaphragm goes in. Abdomen out, chest expands. Breathe in through the nose and out the mouth. I do kind of feel like a sea creature when I do this. Like, see, I'm even going up and down a little bit. It's like a sea anemone on the bottom of the ocean, just kind of like, we've all seen the Nature Channel. You have the little tentacles. So you want to have that feel to it, that organic quality to it. So anyway, you're going to do a whole bunch of those, and then at a certain point, you're going to allow your hands to float upwards in the water, opposite your chest, opposite your lungs. Do a bunch of those. Now, at a certain point, you're going to allow the wrists to float up, leave the fingers behind, and you sink the chi down. Wrists float up, leaving the fingers behind. The front of the wrist leads down. Continue with the breathing. Abdomen expands, chest expands, abdomen contracts. To a bunch of these. I have to tell you that, I'm just demonstrating this, but just that little bit that I've done, I feel pretty good. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, this is amazing. It works very fast. You got to try this. We all have a lot going on and a lot of stress. You'll still have stress, but you do a couple of these, you're not going to care. It just won't bother you as much. That's what we're after. We're after just calming the spirit, dialing things back, and thus improving immunity. Anyway, sorry for the little... I'm going to leave that in. I'm not going to edit that out. I wanted to share that. It feels good. All right, so anyway, just to review, do a bunch of these. Let it float up opposite your chest. Do a bunch of these. Then sink the chi, we call it. Do a whole bunch of these. At a certain point, bring your wrists together, allow your hands to float up, unfold, and you're going to hug a big beach ball. Like from side view, we're hugging a beach ball. Watch your head. You can maybe let the back of the neck be tall. Try not to stick your butt out. And what you're going to do is just stand here. Thumbs hanging from the sky. This is a standing meditation. And as you do this and hold this position, you're amplifying the chi. You're increasing that circuit coursing through your body. Now, I can stand here for a heck of a long time. If you're not used to this, your arms are going to start to kill you. So when that happens, leave the elbows here, allow the hands just to kind of float down, and then make a ball opposite your abdomen. Your dantian, we call it in Chinese medicine. The sea of energy. This is where your vital energy is stored. And again, you just let that cook. Just hold that for as long as you can. The more you do this, the longer you can hold it, and you'll actually start to feel yourself altering into a very wonderful state. All right, so you do this for a while, you do this for a while. Now, side view, Now what you're going to do is leave the elbows where they are. Bring your hands against your hips. Let them gently rest against your hips. This position is called the iron shirt. The iron shirt. This is your Wei Qi, your defensive Qi that wards off evil Qi, Xie Qi, evil Qi. You're just going to let the energy zigzag through your body. Try not to let your elbows go back, right? It's not like you're riding a horse, yeah? So you want to keep them out because it's this flat, two-dimensional, like you're a playing card almost. Stand here, just let it cook, let it zigzag through. The more you do this, the more powerful it is and the more amazing it will feel. You have a lot of time now, don't y'all? You non-essential workers? Get off the couch, turn off Netflix. Do this. Okay, so that's it. That's the iron shirt. Now you could just go right to the iron shirt and just do this, but by doing the yoga breathing combined with the qigong techniques and the standing meditation, you're amplifying the qi, you're charging the battery. Then you're going into this position very highly potentiated, and you'll get a very strong Wei Qi recruitment of that energy. So, look, this is not Western physiology, although I'm describing the analog there. And I love research. I don't know how much research there is. I think there is actually some for qigong in regard to immune function. And I'll try to look up those studies and reference them in the comments. But look, this has been around for centuries. And we see the qigong masters in China do amazing feats. And the Shaolin monks who can do things that just seem superhuman. But we don't have to be superhuman, but we need maybe a little bit of that right now. This is a new virus. There's so many things we don't know about it, how it attacks our bodies, how it gets in. But we do know that we need to increase our basic innate immunity. That is without question. So I hope that you can try this and it benefits you. Any questions or comments, I would be happy to respond. Those of you who are seeing this on my website, you can share. I'll put the link to my site for Tasman Acupuncture Associates also in the description as well. All right, well, it's been my pleasure to share this with you. I hope it helps. Namaste.